Aurora Police have made an arrest in a shooting that hurt 3 people, including 1 child, last night. Thanks so much for joining us this Sunday afternoon. I'm Mark Salinger.
And I'm Jennifer Meckles. Aurora Police say 18-year-old Christopher Campos Aguiano shot into a car with 3 kids in the back seat. He is now in custody. Police say this all started on Airport Boulevard near Colfax, where the victims agreed to meet the suspects. Police say the victims were selling the suspects something, they didn't say what, but that the suspects took off without paying, and the victims followed. Police say somebody in the suspect vehicle opened fire, hitting 2 adults in the front seat. 1 man has serious injuries. The adult woman's injuries are minor, and police say a 12-year-old girl in the back seat of the car suffered a graze wound. The other 2 kids were not hurt. Detectives tracked down the suspect's car, then arrested Campos Aguiano last night. He was booked on suspicion of second-degree attempted murder. Investigators are still working to determine if anybody else will be arrested.
A Colorado teenager has pleaded guilty to murder in connection to 2 separate killings almost 2 years ago. 18-year-old Devontae Rogers Brodus has been in custody since he turned himself into Aurora Police in October of 2023 after a shooting at a mall. Police say he was also involved in a deadly carjacking at an apartment complex nearby. 23-year-old was shot and killed in the parking lot. Days later, a 15-year-old was shot and killed in the parking lot of the Southlands Mall. Rogers Brodus was 16 at the time of the shootings, but was charged as an adult. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in both of those killings. His sentencing is scheduled for April 21st.
Let's do a quick check of your forecast today because it is changing after a record-breaking day yesterday. A lot cooler weather moved in today. Still beautiful, still sunshine, just not so hot out there. Also, we have a chance for some parts of our state to see some rain along with those cooler temperatures. 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen joins us now. We were breaking records yesterday, so this cool is a little bit appreciated.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, today we were only about 5 or 6 degrees warmer than normal, so you could call that a cool down from the 86 that we hit yesterday. As far as the temperatures right now, we're still in the 60s here across the Denver metro area, and that is going to be a sign that things are going to change into the tonight. We do have some rain and snow showers starting to develop. You can see them on satellite and radar picture right here. It's kind of a band of showers, and that it'll stay in that character all through the night here, just banding up and down. So some spots will be getting hit by, while most of us will not be getting hit by this rain and snow. As far as the Denver area, when that band kind of pushes down towards us, the best chances for us to see any rain or snow here is between 9 o'clock and midnight here, and then it'll flip over to snow in the morning hours. We could even see a dusting of slush here in some of the areas around the Denver metro area if you wake up early enough on Monday morning to see that here. So mountain snow will also be kind of banded as well, so hit and miss as we go through the night, and then we'll warm up once again into the week. But this ridge of high pressure, nowhere as crazy as the one that just went through here. I'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you. Fire crews are making some real progress on a wildfire that's burning north of Woodland Park in Douglas County, right on the Dougco and Teller County line. The U.S. Forest Service says the Turkey Track fire is now 30% contained. It's burned more than 120 acres so far. That one started last night following a very hot day of fire danger. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says this fire's burning on Forest Service land near the Turkey Track shooting area close to Highway 67 in Rainbow Falls. No buildings are threatened at this time. Officials did push campers to evacuate the area. That shooting area is also closed. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but the Forest Service believes it was human-caused. A commercial terminal at the Aspen airport's now back open. They had a security incident earlier today that forced it to close for more than 2 hours. According to airport officials, this all stemmed from a concern with a checked bag. Turned out to be a false alarm. The incident forced passengers and employees to evacuate, though, while officials were investigating. That terminal reopened around 2 o'clock this afternoon. 1 month ago today, a plane at Denver International Airport caught fire. That plane took off from Colorado Springs, had to divert to DIA for engine issues.
Yeah, still a lot of questions about what exactly happened, including why the airplane taxied to the gate after it landed, then caught fire while parked. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch joins us live in the newsroom now with how passengers are hoping to hold the airline accountable. Hey, Janelle.
In a lawsuit filed through Ramos Law here in Denver, passengers on that flight say money and miles don't make up for the airline's alleged mistakes.
According to the NTSB,
There have been 269 airport accidents since the start of the year.
Pilots that are stressed out. We have air traffic control that are stressed out. We have a failing system through the FAA. There's a lot of different things that are at play here, and unfortunately, it's been hectic.
Joe LaRusso, director of aviation for Ramos Law, has been busy. Most recently, he filed a lawsuit for a passenger who was on this flight.
Oh, what happened?
It's on fire.
American Airlines Flight 1006 made an emergency landing at DIA after taking off from Colorado Springs March 13th.
You know, the frustration is a lot with how American chose to handle the situation.
This lawsuit claims the airline failed its passengers in multiple ways, like the pilot never declaring an emergency.
Just to verify, not an emergency, still correct?
No, we just have a high engine vibration, so we are cruising slower than normal.
Didn't declare an emergency the entire time, despite being asked by ATC, are you declaring an emergency now? Chose not to, landed with a vibrating engine, chose not to get trucks standing by, chose not even to have a fire truck follow up.
LaRusso says poor decisions continued after landing, as the crew brought the malfunctioning plane to a gate. The lawsuit claims while evacuating on the wing of the plane, LaRusso's client, quote, inhaled copious amounts of smoke and fire retardant. Passengers say injuries were just as emotional as they were physical.
There's flames, and the windows began to bubble and melt. And I honestly thought, I hope this plane doesn't explode right here. I just thought, could this be it? You know, it was absolutely terrifying.
The lawsuit claims the airline was negligent in its care for customers and did not follow proper conduct.
We understand that emergencies happen, but it's important that a crew responds appropriately in the event of an emergency.
LaRusso says more lawsuits are expected to be filed this week. We reached out to American Airlines several times for comment, but have not heard back. In the newsroom, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Yeah, when we saw that video a couple of weeks ago of everybody just deplaning onto the wind there, it's just so crazy. And you can imagine all those fumes coming up. That's exactly what they're talking about, right, Janelle?
Yeah, exactly that.
Interesting. Janelle Finch, appreciate it. Thank you. In national news, Pennsylvania's Democratic governor and his family were forced to evacuate their home after an apparent arson this morning. Local officials say the fire caused significant damage to the governor's mansion there in Pennsylvania. Governor Josh Shapiro and his family were safely evacuated. No one was hurt. Police arrested a man they say made homemade incendiary devices and broke into the home. That arrest happened this afternoon. Colorado Democratic Governor Jared Polis, who's also the National Governors Association chair, issued a statement this afternoon saying the governors are not only public leaders, but also parents, spouses, and neighbors. Incidents like this remind us of the very real challenges that government officials and their families face. Back here in Colorado, students in the small town of Gailton in Weld County are preparing to return to school tomorrow after an oil well incident forced evacuations in the area a week ago. This weekend, crews in Weld County finally shut the well off and stopped the geyser from shooting up into the sky. Last Sunday, the state says the Chevron oil well's pressure barriers failed, causing it to shoot water, oil, gas into the sky for days. You can see it there on your screen. It's finally been sealed off. Crews are now clearing up the affected areas, including Gailton Elementary School. School's principal says classes are expected to resume tomorrow if the test samples that they're doing come back okay. However, it's still not clear when the dozens of families who were forced to evacuate can return home.
The jury
Looking ahead to tomorrow, former Clear Creek County Deputy Andrew Buin is expected to be sentenced. He's the man who shot and killed Christian Glass nearly 3 years ago. A jury convicted Buin of criminally negligent homicide in February. In June of 2022, Buin responded to Glass's call for help. He eventually shot and killed Glass after trying to get him to exit his car.
Opening statements could begin tomorrow for the case of one of 3 teenagers accused of throwing rocks into moving cars and killing a woman in Jefferson County. Prosecutors say Joseph Koenig threw a rock into the path of Alexa Bartel's car back in 2023. The rock smashed through the windshield and it killed her. 2 other people involved took plea deals. They've agreed to testify against him. If the jury should find Koenig guilty of first-degree murder, he will spend the rest of his life in prison with no chance of parole.